The Axial SCX10.3, brand new from Axial, portal axles, 2-speed transmission, dig transfer case. You know, this thing has got it all. I got this from Florida RC Outlet here in Jacksonville, Florida. Their contact information is down below. I'm going to do a bit of a open box to show you guys what you get in it and a build. Now, the build that I'm going to show you guys are just the parts that catch my attention. Things that are different from the Capra or things that need to be shown. So I'm not doing a full ground up build for you guys. There are other guys on YouTube that do a way better job than I do. So I'm showing you guys what catches my attention, and then we're going to give this thing a drive. In the bottom left corner of the screen is a time. That's the time where I start driving. Take a look. Here we go. Plastic stuff, looks like the inner fenders, stuff like that. We have the interior cage and lights and fender flares. Nice. Now the body, I'm hoping, oh, it is good. The body is pre-cut. That's going to be nice. Oh man, if there's one thing about bodies and all that, I really don't like cutting them out. Especially when they have things like little holes in the doors for the door handles and all that stuff. Cutting all that stuff out right there can be a major pain in the butt. I've done it before, and yeah, I'm glad to see that body pre-cut. Tires. Yes, I will be putting these to use. Now we're getting into the hardcore stuff. Capra style links, Capra style ends. And that's a good thing. Wild Boar 8 style drive shafts. Those are holding up really good in my Capra and other trucks. There are the shocks. 35 weight oil. We'll put them together just like they are right here. Here we have, looks like receiver and battery tray maybe. There's the interior. Man, I gotta paint that too. Dang. Got a lot of paint to do. That may actually have to stay clear right now. Chassis. The chassis. Right there. More inner fender stuff. Axle set. Nice. Transmission. Bag seat. Alright, that's gonna be a fun part right there because there's a lot of moving pieces in that transmission with the 2-speed and the dig. And there's your optional body mounts if you want to swap bodies. Alright, so anyway, I'm about to start turning some wrenches. In addition to what I just showed you, you get your sticker package. Now this has got the tinted window type stickers, so that's going to be nice because you get the little like barriers and stuff like that. The little details that I really don't care about when I paint a body. Interior stickers, there's your window masks, and of course, the book. When assembling the axles, you got to be careful about this. I don't recall this being an issue with the Capra, but the one right here, you see this has a little ridge. That goes to the front, and the one right here without the ridge, that goes to the back. If you mix these up, they will not go. That will not fit correctly on the back axle. The axles are together. Now, these are obviously different axles. You can't flip the ring gear like what I did on the Optimus truck. So it just is what it is. And that's because, well, you know, you got to fit everything into there and your links and all that stuff. So it's just easier for them to get it like that. The difference on the covers, you can see it in the book if you look very carefully. Very carefully. They are very easy to mix up once you put them out on the table. So if you have an issue putting your covers on, the rear covers, well, that's what you got to do. You got to swap them out. And yes, I had both of the wrong covers on the front axle. Go figure, huh? Up next are the shocks. Putting the shocks together, if there's anything that's going to make you say some cuss words, it's these little piston E-clips. Holy moly. When putting your shocks together, I highly suggest a set of shock shaft pliers so you don't score the shaft up because you can get leaks. Another thing I just noticed about these shocks, 97 millimeters. I was under the impression they were 90 millimeter versions. I guess not. The way I believe these shocks, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I do put a little bit too much in there. And since he's had that little bleeder valve, I just basically do this number right here. It makes a little bit of a mess, but at that point, I put the screw right into it. That's the screw I'm talking about right there. Shocks are put together. You have green and red. The green is a stiffer spring, so I'm going to put that up front. Well, because that's where all the motor and everything is, right? Transmission time, bag C. It's times like this I wish it was an RTR. I'm at this point in the transmission. It's a really complicated transmission, really. And I see this, 1.1 or 1.7. Use this with the portal axles, that with non-portal axles. I heard a rumor that they were going to make another version of this with straight axles. So if they do that, then, well, there's your gear ratio to get your gearing back up to speed or not be too fast, because the portals have about 7.4 to 1 ratio, stock axles 3.75. So yeah, running the 1 to 1 ratio on a 3.75 axle would be super fast. Not with those gears. There are a lot of gears in this transmission. Let me tell you, it is heavy actually. Now this part right here, you're going to want to make sure you get that nut tight, because when you put this cover on, you're not going to have access outside the transmission. So if it comes loose, you got to do a lot of work to get to that. Make sure you got it tight. The motor of choice is the Crawlmaster Expert 13 turn 540 size from Holmes Hobbies. Stock pinion gear. Transmission is done. I powered it up. It sounded fine, so that's a good thing. Now it's time for bag D, the links. Links are done, only 7 cramps. At this point it's time for the servo, and I'm assuming I must be reading something wrong because I had to trim that down. It was bulged out, and this little corner right here. And once I did that, I can fit a servo in there. It would not make it back to the holes. It wouldn't fit. The servo of choice for this is a Holmes SHV500 V3. That's the servo I'm going to use in this, and it was impossible to fit. With that trim, I can now bolt it up. So guys, if you had this issue, comment down below. Let me see if it's just something that I did wrong or what. Where those pieces trimmed, it fits perfectly. Just had to cut that out right there, and then that corner right there as well. I'm not exactly sure when, but at some point I ended up getting into some chassis. Yeah. Wow, you know, I've built a bunch of kits. This is one seriously involved kit. I mean, well, at least I'm to the part where I got to put the transmission inside the chassis. So, still making progress. Starting to look like something. At least a little bit of something. Now, by the looks of it, a normal 550 cam motor would barely fit. I mean, obviously I don't have everything else on the front up here, but if I don't like this one, I've also got this Crawlmaster Pro 10 turn. That's a monster. But I think this 13 turn will be just fine. According to the book, I get to start putting the axles in place. Woohoo! At this point in the book, it's time for electronics. Yeah, they changed the design a little bit and kind of temporarily killed the option of using a Reef's Micro 99. It's going to be awesome to see what the real scale guys do with this, especially if they come out with the straight axle version with the different gear in the transmission like I showed you guys. It's going to be really cool what people do with this. I mean, with the engine like this, I can see a hard body with a raising hood where you can actually see stuff. I can see this being pretty darn awesome, especially in the scale world. even with the portal axles. Wheels and tires. These guys are next. What's nice to see is some attention to detail inside the tires. These little ribs and stuff in here, they actually make a difference. They can make the difference of what foam you use as well. These foams, just like in the store, they do feel a little bit stiff. However, you know, the one in the store didn't have the motor and all that stuff. So, you're simply going to put them right together. Tires mounted up pretty well. No real issues with those. Time to put them on the truck. We are getting closer to me actually really putting my electronics in here, minus the, you know, shift and dig servo. I'll just do some work on that to make that work for now. But anyway, getting closer. This is a slow build for me. Holy cow. Aside from the horrible paint job, it looks fantastic. Suspension moves smoothly. Getting the body on and off of this thing is kind of a pain, and it deals with how the fender flares are put on and the inner fenders. I may end up clearancing the fenders out just a little bit, because you got to kind of peel the body out of here, and then you got to fit them into these pieces right here, these little grooves that hold everything in place, which is a nice feature, by the way. So it just kind of makes it kind of a pain to get the body on and off. And I still don't know what I'm going to do with the interior, so just leave it clear for now. But it looks spectacular. Now we take the body off and look at my horrible wiring job. That's what the layout looks like. Yes, those are rubber bands. That was the only, it was the easiest way I could, you know, make it shift and do what it's got to do. Obviously it's manual, but I can't get first gear and second gear or low and high. I can even make the thing dig if I want, but I don't think we're going to worry about that. So I'm pretty sure you can fit a normal 550 can motor in this. It will be tight, really tight, but I think it will fit. Now, as far as batteries go, I just went ahead and went with that. This is not going to be a competition truck. It's just going to be something to cruise around with, and I don't know. You never know. But with this transmission, with all that weight of that, it's just not competition for me. Plus, I've got my other trucks and all that, so it looks really, really nice. It's a very well-built truck. The build on this thing, wow. It's a heck of a build, let me tell you. Since the ramp is still set up from the tire test, let's test it brand new. This thing, oh, I was about to say, man, if this thing goes up and flips over. Now, tires are absolutely brand new. Look at that, they're breaking in a little bit, maybe. Yeah, not much traction on these tires. Handle's good. Got some torque twist on it. And you know, I really wish that manufacturers would actually take just a little bit of thought and get the torque twist at least in the proper direction. You know, driver's side comes up, not passenger side. At least not in the real world. But oh well. Looks beautiful. Lands good. Oh man. All right. Be careful with this thing. These tires right now are not hooking up. Could be they just need some softer foams and stuff like that. because they are not flexing very well at all. Oh, oh, oh. I'd rather not scratch it up too bad right now. There we go. That was my flip-flop. Let's do a first gear launch. Now let's go for a second gear launch. Not much difference in speed. A little bit though. I wish I could shift it back and forth and really see. Back in first gear. Just gonna ease it along. One thing's for sure, I really don't want to beat this truck up. At least not yet. So I kind of like to keep them clean at least for 3 rides. Once I get done with 3, then, you know, well, all bets are off. Just by feeling it, the balance and all that, definitely take a lot of work and probably getting rid of some stuff. A whole lot of getting rid of the inner fender wells, a lot of getting rid of a lot of stuff to try to lighten it up as far as at the chassis level and up to make it competition worthy. Can it compete right now? Absolutely. But this up against a built competition truck would be 2 different things. These are 2 different things for sure. Let's see here. Oh. So now right here is where that dig would be nice. It looks like it's going to make it without too much trouble. These little chunks of wood all stuck up are a major pain in the butt sometimes. Yeah, these tires aren't conforming at all. I seem to have a bunch of idiots on the road right now. You can hear all the motors in the background. I think sometimes they just get together and see whose is the loudest. Easy enough. I think this can use a smaller pinion on it, in all honesty. Seems to be geared up a little bit too fast. Seems like it could definitely be geared down a little bit. Even first gear seems to be a bit too fast. Now it came with a 14 tooth on it, so I might look and see what I can do with something like, say, a 10 tooth. Really bring the speed down, get the control up where it needs to be. Wow. I can tell you right now, these are not impressive tires. I saved it. This thing absolutely needs a much softer tire. I think I even have the tire that I need. I think for the weight of this, the G8 compound crawlers might be the perfect tire for it. It's a softer tire, using the stock foams and all that. So that might be exactly what this thing needs. Smooth running truck there, that's for sure. Okay, I've got the dig manually engaged. Works like it's supposed to. Well guys, in its current form, I can tell you it's a pretty good trail truck. It doesn't seem to show that it's competition level. I mean, not right here, not in this form. Can it be built to compete? Absolutely. You can trim them knuckles, you can bend that tie rod out a little bit and get a lot more turn out of it. The rest of the truck is absolutely up for it. You can put the overdrive gears in the portals. You can do the ring and pinion. So there are a lot of mods that came from the Capra that you can do right to this. So that's a great thing. The transmission, trying to show the different speeds, not having the shift servo in there, kind of hard to do. It kind of seems like first gear is still a little bit fast, like they should have went a little deeper with first gear. Bring it down a little bit more in like the 60-to-1 range. I mean, you got a 2-speed. Make use of the 2 gears. Traxxas has a really good first gear. Their second gear is also really fast, so it's kind of a wide spread on that. This is a lot tighter on the spread, so I guess we'll have to see, you know, as the people use it and all that. Now the transmission does have that particular gear where you can slow it down for the straight axles, which leads me to believe there's a straight axle version of this on the way, or there's going to be a straight axle conversion for this. Either way, it's an option. So guys, check that description. Links to this, links to Amazon, links to eBay. Those are affiliate links. You click on those, check out with whatever's in your cart. Gives me a little bit of a commission for sending you there. And you know, every little bit helps. So guys, hopefully you liked the video, and thank you all for watching. If you guys like the channel and want to help it out a little bit, you can click that join button and actually become a channel member. Members get special privileges, maybe even some member giveaways. So make sure you check that out. And as always, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you guys for watching.